The county fair is a family affair for the Walahoskis of Overton, including Paige, who's received a number of opportunities through 4-H.
Yeah, so 4-H, it means a lot to me. It's definitely introduced me to a lot of industries and taught me a lot of special life skills that are definitely going to be critical. This year to the county fair, I'm bringing a wether lamb, a market gilt, which is a hog, and a heifer. And I'm also bringing some projects. And so through some of those activities, I've been introduced to the livestock industry, and I've learned a lot of baking skills, which will definitely be crucial as I get out of the house.
And beyond just county fair, what are some of the other things you're involved in? Can you think of some other opportunities that 4-H has given you, other contests or other activities you do maybe throughout the year?
Yeah, another one of my favorite contests is PACE, which stands for the Premier Animal Science Event. And it's a 4-H event where I participate in livestock judging, meats judging, and livestock quiz bowl. And that's another type of project and opportunity that's really introduced me to the livestock industry. And I've definitely made a lot of people connections there. And I've also familiarized myself with all of the things that you need to know to raise your animals. And I've also learned a lot about being a consumer and a producer. So through meats judging especially, I'm now able to identify, the best cuts of meat in the store that I would want to take home.
Well, I was going to say, as a producer, so it's also helpful to understand it from a consumer perspective, because these animals we're raising, these are market animals that somebody's going to put on their dinner table, and understanding that full circle concept. Do you find that to be, has that been good for you, just kind of understand all that?
Yeah, that's definitely been super helpful. I mean, livestock judging has helped me, to be able to pick the animals that I want to show at fair, but it's also been able to help me identify animals that, are going to make good money at market and be good to the consumer that purchases them. And meat judging has been able to help me identify those cuts of meat and also just understand the livestock perspective more about, what we are actually consuming, what we want to see in our livestock, and,
Right. And 4-H definitely is a family affair for your family. I mean, you've got brothers and sisters. Tell me about just kind of how has everybody in the family been involved, and what's 4-H meant just to everybody in your family?
Yeah. So my oldest brother, Spencer, he is in college. He goes to West Texas A&M University, which is a very livestock-based university. And he's studying animal science. And he's also on the meats judging team, which was really inspired by him being in meats judging and livestock projects in 4-H as a kid. And then my next oldest brother, Parker, he's going to attend SCSU this fall, and he's going to attend for fisheries and wildlife, which was another opportunity that was inspired through his 4-H career, through animal, wildlife, and track projects at the county fair, as well as shooting sports. And then my next brother, Grant, he is going to be a 6th grader this year with his twin, my sister, Megan. And right now they're both really enjoying all of the opportunities and really getting into learning a lot about life skills, like I mentioned before, with the baking and learning the livestock industry, and also exploring other opportunities like rockets and sewing.
That's a lot of different things. And mom and dad are, I'm sure, involved in all of this too, right?
Yes. So my dad was actually a 4-H member, and my mom was actually a 4-H member when they were both kids. And so it's definitely nice to see that it's kept on going through the generations. And they also stay involved by leading our 4-H club, the Sumner Livestock Club.
And their experience, that 4-H experience, that's part of where they ended up with their careers as well, right?
Yes, very much so.
Just tell people, what do your parents do then?
My mom, Chris, was a dietitian, a registered dietitian, and my dad is a vet at Overton Veterinary Services.
It just shows, though, that, I mean, you and your parents and your brothers and sisters really show the diversity of careers in agriculture, because everybody's got a little bit different interest, but you can kind of tie that all back into 4-H, which I think is really cool.
Yes, definitely.
So, Paige, you've had some really cool opportunities, but that's not the end. You've got some really cool things you're looking forward to through 4-H. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. So another cool trip that I'll be going on in November is I'll be going to Atlanta, Georgia with the National 4-H Congress trip.
And kind of what happens there? Can you explain that?
It's kind of just like a 4-H conference where a lot of 4-H kids come and meet and learn leadership skills and some stuff about different industries.
That's really neat that you're not only getting a Nebraska perspective, but you're getting a national perspective, and all because of 4-H. I mean, that's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, super cool. And, another experience that I've done recently is I went on a couple trips with BRAG, which stands for Big Red Ag Growers, which is also a 4-H based opportunity. And I did that with Buffalo County, actually. And through that, we took trips out to local ag businesses and, just basically got to interview the people that work there and, learn some more about the different parts of our industry that, maybe we're not familiar with. So we went out and we visited, some dairy farms and processing plants and things like that might not be so familiar with for us kids.
That's really cool. And Carrie Elson does that in Buffalo County. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
And then now that I've been through that program, I will now get to take a trip in summer of 2026. And me and the other kids who've been selected, we went through an interview process, and I'll be going to Alaska through that trip to learn about ag in Alaska.
Wow, that's really cool. We don't want to overlook the obvious. It's really cool to do all those things and travel and get to see real neat things, but there's still something special about your own county fair too, right?
Oh, yes. And another thing that I super enjoy at our county fair is the 4-H Cafe. And, through that 4-H Cafe, I'd say that I've learned a lot of leadership skills, customer service skills, just basic job skills, along with bettering my food skills and food safety skills, which I'd already, learned a little bit through meats judging and my food projects. And also through the 4-H Cafe, I learned how important it is to volunteer in your community to make a big difference.
You mentioned the 4-H Cafe, and that's a fun volunteer experience, but you need people to come out and support that too, don't you?
Yes, definitely. I'd really like to invite everybody who's listening to come enjoy a nice piece of pie or a delicious beef sundae out with us this week at the 4-H Cafe.
And I will tell you, if I ever am at a county fair, and I go to a lot of them, and I see 4-H kids with who have pie, I have to make sure to buy pie. Am I doing that right if I do that?
Definitely. That is definitely not a mistake.
I do that all the time. I eat too much pie this time of year, but that's okay. Can you eat too much pie this time of year? I don't think so.
I really don't think so. The last thing I'd like to do is just thank all of the volunteers and all the people who take time out of their day to help make the county fair possible for all of these kids like me and all the 4-Hers in Dawson County.
And that is Paige Walahoski of Dawson County, our 4-H Spotlight. I'm Steve White on the Rural Radio Network.